graduation plans, mental health, PSAT prep, and everything in between. School counselors have you covered. Whether you're a student, parent, or fellow educator, you're in the right place if you're here for some guidance.
In 2023, two major manufacturers in the Lowcountry reported to a group of educators that many applicants from the area high schools were unable to secure employment because they lacked soft skills and/or basic reading and math skills. These employers define soft skills as punctuality, decision-making, communication skills, attendance, and integrity. Nowadays, schools tend to be data-driven with emphasis on test scores and graduation rates. Is what schools are doing translating well to the workplace?
Here to discuss this topic today is LaDonna Davis from Austin Middle School,
Stacy Hilton, River Oaks Middle School,
Antoinette Green, Morningside Middle School.
All right, ladies. So if we had to give a grade to South Carolina schools on preparing students for work, what grade would you give?
Being in education for many years, I would say probably a C average at this point.
I agree. Definitely a C. We could do better with preparing our students.
And I would have to concur with a C, and maybe even a D. But yeah, collectively, we have over 40 years of experience with this particular question. All right, so what are some things that schools are doing? Let's talk about the good first. What are some things that schools are doing to prepare students for the workplace?
I would say one thing that schools are doing is, like, for instance, if students not coming to school, there's consequences for not attending school, such as parent meetings with teachers and parents. And lastly, if the student still does not continue to come to school, then unfortunately the courts will have to take over, because it's very important for our students to attend school so they can receive an education. Also, that can translate over into the work world.
And all schools have a dress code, so we try to show the students importance of dressing appropriately. So usually, we don't like them to wear hoods on their head in school. They can't have the headphones. We don't want them to have their pants sagging, so we try to give them that importance.
And I would like to add that some of the things that South Carolina is doing well is exposing students to careers on all levels. So that's elementary, middle, and high. There are career pathways in each of our high schools where students can actually declare a major. And we have students taking part in career exploration on the elementary and middle level by being exposed to career speakers and going on field trips that are career based. So these are some things that I agree that I think we do well. So South Carolina schools are doing some great things, but clearly it isn't enough. Many of the industries that we spoke with in STEMersion 2023 shared some similar concerns. So are the results that we are getting from what we're doing in school, are they helpful in the workplace?
Well, there's definitely a lack of accountability on the students' parts.
Well, I can agree with you on the lack of accountability. There's not always, even though there are consequences, they aren't always immediate.
Mm-hmm.
And some people aren't consistent.
And so for the past couple of days, we've met with industry and business partners regarding what they're seeing with our talent in South Carolina. And it appears that the students are lacking the ability to arrive to work on time. Mm-hmm. They're having some struggles with completing tasks appropriately. And, just being able to communicate and accept constructive criticism.
And I would even add to that, Stacy, that students don't see the correlation between the school rules and the workplace. That's right. Part of why some of these rules are in place, like dress code that Antoinette mentioned. And they don't always see the correlation that we're trying to prepare them for workplace dress. And so I think maybe schools need to make what we do more relevant for the students.
Right. I agree with you 100%. Working in the middle school, I know firsthand the students do not see the correlation between attending school, dressing appropriately, getting their work done in a timely fashion. They don't understand that it's going to be a payoff in the long run, which is, completing high school and receiving that high school diploma and moving forward. They can only focus on what's in front of them right now.
I agree. So what are some things? Let's come. We've talked about the problem. Let's talk about a solution. What are some possible things that schools can do to assist students better to help them be prepared?
So I think we can have more incentive for the students. So we can do rewards for perfect attendance. Celebrate that as much as we celebrate the honor roll.
Right.
And I think also something else that can be beneficial is bringing in these businesses and industries and having them talk with the students about what they're looking for, so these students can have an understanding and try to focus on improving themselves for the work world.
And I would like to see maybe the state redo the school, not the school report card, but the student's report card to reflect some of these soft skills that we want to see. Why don't we start assigning a grade or some type of rating to these so that it's not a surprise? A lot of students don't know what soft skills are, but if on their report card every 9 weeks, they were getting a rating in certain soft skills, at least they would know what they needed to work on. And I would love to see something like that added to the student report card.
I agree 100%.
So this experience in STEMersion 2023 has helped us to see business and industry are having some of the same problems that we see in the schools every day, which leads us to believe that we should perhaps do something differently in our schools. Thank you.
Here for Some Guidance is brought to you by the Low Country Education Consortium, spearheaded by Amy McKenzie and Caitlin Hardwick, and inspired by the Tri-County STEMersion Conference.